And then the next paragraph, octopus are a culinary delicacy. So 17, it's about how valuable and octopus are when it comes to food, right? So reading around 17, it says, however, numbers of octopus caught are reported to be in decline, blank. Wild caught males and females are allowed to mate. So in 17, around it, they're talking about how there are a lot less octopus to be caught, right, for these delicacies. So, and then after the gap in 17, they talk about how wild caught males and females are allowed to mate. This is probably linking to the sentence before, right? Because there's only a sentence splitting them. Wild caught males are probably allowed to mate with females because of how little there are being caught. So 17, it's in the middle of how there are a lot less octopus and things to be caught in the wild. And so this can cause a problem. And so looking down at the answers, it says, fish farmers have turned to the rearing of octopus to try and replace these dwindling catches. This is a very likely one because it's talking about how dwindling catches, which is what the sentence before 17 talks about. So before 17 it says that there are less octopus out there, and that can cause problems when they're catching them. And then they also talk about rearing octopus, which linked to the sentence after it, where they talk about how rearing octopus, which means breeding and making more octopus eggs and stuff. This is also mentioned in the sentence afterwards, where they talk about how these octopus are now allowed to mate with wild caught ones with each other so that they can have more octopus out there. And then so A is a likely option. B, it says protecting the species. This references something that isn't been mentioned either. So B is out of the question. C is also out of the question. It's already been selected, and also it doesn't fit in this section because it doesn't talk about stress about catching. It's more about breeding and how there are a lot less octopus being caught. D, controlled environments where they are raised. This is not correct because around 17, it is specifically talking about how they are being wild caught, right? They aren't talking about how these environments are being controlled and how octopus are being farmed and stuff. It's talking about wild caught ones, so it can't be D either. E, in one experiment, this is not right. And they also aren't talking about experiments, they're talking about wild caught things. And then F, it references jacket and stuff. And this isn't really what the paragraph around it is talking about, so it doesn't fit. And then G, it isn't correct because it's talking about octopus larvae, which they haven't talked about before 17. They wouldn't mention octopus children before they mention the male and females reproducing with each other. So it can't be G either. So the answer for 17 is A.